just, Okay. All right, let's get rocking. Hi, guys. Twice in 1 week. I know, it's crazy. So tonight we're going to talk colors. Why are colors important? For a lot, like every reason under the sun. But for me, colors are amazing, especially to teach leaders, because it's going to help you pitch better. It's going to help you teach your team to pitch better. It's going to give you some insight into some of those difficult personalities and maybe some other ways, the other ways to communicate with them. This week, the STLs, I really concentrated on communication with them. And that's a huge component. I feel like if you can learn this, it can really help drive your communication skills to the next level. Because a lot of times it's not that you're saying the wrong thing, it's how you're saying it or the way you're delivering it, or you're not speaking their language, like not that your solution isn't a good solution, but if you're going to somebody who's a blue and you're just throwing charts at them, they're going to just completely and that's all make sense in a minute. So there are the 4 colors. I know you guys took the test. You might have some insight into them. I'm going to kind of go color by color and explain some ideas behind like their love languages and then we'll talk about pitches at the end, because pitching is really why I want you guys to have this, but at a stronger level for them to be able to use with your team. If you have any questions during it, just stop me. Just stop me and be like, what are you saying? So we will start with the blues. Okay. Blue. I was not a blue ever. I'm actually a green blue now. It's quite funny to me because I used to make fun of myself for having a secret blue card because I had no blue. I was like anti-blue, and I'd have to pull out my fake blue card when I first became a leader. It was like the running joke because Monica just wasn't very good at that kind of stuff. I feel like I can't see my computer screen. I don't like it. There we go. So blues are amazing. What are they? So really what their strengths are is listening, empathy, understanding, creativity. They are your feelers. All right. The blues are like they're the lovers of the group, really. They lead with their heart. Every decision they make. All right. They're in this business. I mean, not that they're not in this business for money, but a lot of times the money is not as important as the relationships. All right. These are your relationship people. I'm also going to tell you why you want all 4 of these colors in your team. This is really like when I came out with this brain thought once, I was like, everybody was like, oh, I was like, you need them all because we all it's like this beautiful little circle. So they need kindness. They need sympathy, not sympathy. Take that back. Sensitivity, genuine. All right. They really just want real. All right. Values, family, spirituality, usually relationships. It's the little things. All right. If you have a blue and you're trying to get them to do something, or get them to hit a goal, throwing a bike at them or a TV isn't going to do crap for you. Not even a little bit. You could write them a handwritten note. You could call them and be like, hey, I just wanted you to know I saw this.
I need you to, okay.
Okay. That, I saw you, I saw what you did an amazing job. You spending time with them, getting on a call with them face to face is essential. All right. They need this connection. This is a blue driver. They have to see you. They have to see how genuine you are. All right. Their joys are doing for others, being understood. They want to be included. All right. Now here's a blue. When you are pitching to a blue, you're talking usually the relationships, because of, Color Street, I now have friendships I never thought I'd have. I now have found people who, truly care about me. I've had pitches out there, which are the absolute truth. When I'd be really struggling, which knock on wood, hasn't been as bad recently, but when my depression gets really bad, I usually get quiet. All right. That's one of my biggest things. Well, who notices that first? My blues. And those are the people that are reaching out and going so I have pitched that before, because of Color Street, I don't get to be quiet anymore. I don't get to hide. I don't get to go lay in my bed and stare at walls because people take notice and people care. And I have these relationships that are everything. So that's kind of that mindset. Now, why do you need a blue? Especially, I think they're the best example of why we are here now. When things were tough, so these last, and I know, Melanie, you're newer, but the last few months, not few months, but earlier this year, there was that dark winter. We was just kind of everything just kind of felt like this, right? You need blues because they drive your culture. All right. And they help with morale, and they're the ones that are going to stick around more. There's nobody that'll ever work as hard as a blue, by the way. Blues might be the quiet, lovey-dovey ones, but nobody, if you love a blue, no one will work as hard for you long-term. And they're the ones that are going to help you build your culture and your team. You need to find, if you don't have blue in you, that is okay. Absolutely okay, but you need to find a blue, a rising blue on your team, and you need to pull them beside you, because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am today. My blues have truly built this team in the sense of made me a better leader and self-reflection and looking at things in a different perspective. All right, so they're really, now it's my secondary color. Thanks a lot. Thanks. I blame that on every single one of you, making me a big softie, but really, they are like taking me out of the equation. This is what I've always said. There's nobody that'll work harder for you. So you need blues. You need to try to attract blues. So even if you have anti-blue in you, you have to pitch that color, because you want that type of person on your team, because truly they're the ones that are going to help you, again, build the culture you're going to want for long-term success on your team. All right. They're the ones that are going to put the most effort in. They're very loyal. They're probably one of the most loyal human beings you'll meet. So any questions about blue? We talked about pitching, why you need them. Okay. And so if you're struggling, if a blue's really struggling in their business and they want like you, or you want to try to like push them, honestly, offering them, like, if you can, like, let's get drinks, let's go out to lunch. Like if you can see them, if you have that ability and they're close enough to you, that's the person you want to give them that. Like I said, sending them a handwritten note and something that you've thought of, like, I'm thinking of one of my favorite blues in the whole world. Butterflies are very significant to her. Like finding a little tiny butterfly card in the store and sending it to her, just being like, this made me think of you. Or if I see a butterfly, taking a picture and sending it to her, that means more than me buying her a Tiffany's bracelet every day, all day long. And I'm very like, I actually hate, like my love language is not the big gifts. Like I'm like, please don't. But then when people send me a picture with, that they signed and a nice note, I'm like, woo, like those are the things that's very blue. They like the feels, they like the thought, they don't care. So the material stuff doesn't do anything. So if you're like, hey, if you hit this incentive, I'm going to give you 3, strips and $25 gift card. And they're like, no. Okay, Anne. But if you message them, be like, hey, I know you can do this. Let's do it together. What if we did this? And, like really just working with them is the best thing you can do for them, instead of trying to get them motivated by things, incentives. Don't do it for them at all. So then we're going to go to our oranges. So oranges give me an anxiety attack. No, they don't. They used to give me anxiety attack. No joke. Like I'll never forget my first orange leader in my other company. I mean, I've been teaching this now for over 7 years. And I'll never forget her. Like she's still in my life. She's not with Color Street, but she was for a bit, and she went and did, whatever. And she used to literally give me heart palpitations because she was quick. They're fast. They're going to be first. Okay. They are always going to be first. And that's okay. You're going to let them be first. All right. They're going to get there first. You offer them a cookie. They're going to have it out of your hand because they earned it. And they earn it too. It's not that they don't work hard. Here's the thing about, they're your sprinters. All right. Your oranges are your sprinters. Why do you need oranges? Because when things are down or when you need to motivate your team, they're the ones first in line. If you ask them to be like, everybody get in line, they're going to be the ones that are they're the drivers. They're the ones that are going to the front of the line and getting people excited. They're your hype girls. Okay. They bring energy. They're some of my absolute favorite humans now on our team are very, very orange. All right. But like for me, I'm like, I don't need to be first. I know who I am. I'm very excited that I don't want the thing. So for me, it's a very different language for me. So a little bit about them. Their strengths are their free thinking. Okay. They can make anything fun, even work. They do. They're your fun. They make things fun. They make me make things fun because I'm not that fun. Like fun's not me. Like not that I'm not fun, but I'm not fun. Like I'm just kind of like, you guys want to like hang out, like, and just sit around and do like, that's me all day long. Very high energy. They're visionaries. Okay. They're very like, they see it. They already see it. That's why they're runners, because they have a really great vision. They can see that quickly. And that's why a lot of leaders are orange. I mean, it's kind of a toss up with all of these, but you'll notice in network marketing, because they're very good at vision, they might, because they're those very type A, quick people. All right. They value freedom. All right. Activity, adventure. I have had an orange join this team literally to get the Punta Cana trip. She became a director in like 4 or 5 months, but that is why she joined. She didn't join for any other reason. She joined for the trip. They like the trips. You need to pitch that. You pitch the trips, you pitch anytime, you know, like you're getting something, the prizes, you earn something, the sparkly things. They like the sparkly things. They love presents. You could, you know, you offer them like, they're the ones that are always going to participate in your, like, oh, if you do this, you know, party pack challenge, poof, they sold a party pack before the post, like they even read through the post. They're the ones, but that's great because they're the ones that are getting excited. They're your hype girls, and they're going to help build that energy when others are kind of like, I don't know, you know, or they're like, and they're truly, they're a gift, but they used to give me anxiety attacks. I've learned that they no longer do that. So they need to be unstructured. They don't like structure. They don't like systems. Okay. Like that thing I made for you guys for the new stylist, oranges aren't going to use that. Most of them aren't, or they're going to use just the checklist. Like they'll go because they get to check it off. Okay. I did that, but I already did all that. So I don't need the checklist. I just realized I lost a nail and I don't know when I lost the nail, which is really funny. I was packing. I just looked down. I was like, there's no nail on my pinky. Sorry, squirrel. Freedom. All right. They need freedom. They need fun. Their joys are doing, creating. Hold on. I can't see this. It's covered. Why is it covered? I think it says making things happen. They're short-term driven though. Here's the thing about orange. You got to spice it up. You got to keep going. You got to keep dangling carrots. You can't dangle a carrot and think they're just going to get there for the long term. They see the end result, but they get very distracted. All right. So they're very fast go. Like they're your ones that'll, if you've had anybody that's ever joined in, like hit all the jump starts, like within the first 30 days, more than likely they're probably an orange. But then they're going to get bored. So that's where you have to keep working, giving them different ideas. They're the ones that are usually going to do different types of nail bars first, because they want to just do the things. They have a lot of energy. They're very competitive. That's why they're always first too. Sorry. So they're extremely competitive. That's why they love to be incentivized, because they want to win. They're going to win. They will win almost every time. The short-term races, they're your sprinters. They're going to win. Your blues are like your cross-country runners. Like they're just like, they're there for the long. Like they'll see you stop for water, you know, in their journey. Hi, you know, wave. They'll have a conversation while they're jogging. Your oranges are like, no, thank you. I'm all set. So they welcome change and variety, which is nice because this business is ever changing. So they're very easy. They very much will help you with those. They're not afraid of change as much as the other colors we're going to talk about. See if I missed anything. Spontaneous, great word for them. Impulsive, risk takers, like think of like roller coaster riders, like people who love to ride, like that's an orange. If you want to think of like a physical. So pitching, talked about. So how to motivate them, as well as why you want them on your team. I think we got them. If I miss any of that with these, because I'm trying to just make it not as, they resist commitment, oranges. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. They thrive in crises. They really are. They're great. They're still going to be right there in the front line. They like to deal with things in the here and now. So that's the thing. Like if they don't like something, they're going to deal with it right now. And you're like, okay, but can I think about it? No, you can't. They're ready to deal with the thing. And you're like, especially if you're a gold or a green, which we're going to talk about now. So let's go to green. So I am a primary green. Green are your analytical people. All right. They're very analytical. They like to think outside the box. I love workarounds. It's a secret. A lot of people don't, I sometimes say it, but most of my leaders know, like if there's a workaround with a rule, I'm never going to break a rule, but I will find a way to help you do what you need to do, as long as it's not a bad thing, because a lot of times there's workarounds. Like, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. Love puzzles, people who like that kind of thing, like that puzzle brain, Excel, things like that. So their strengths are thinking, analyzing, overthinking though. Their strength is thinking, but I'm going to put that their weakness is sometimes also thinking, because they do it too much. We'll talk about that. Research, they love research. A lot of times, like for me, like I had to know everything. I didn't tell anybody I was looking into direct sales, but I found out everything I needed to know. I researched the hell out of it before I mentioned it to one single person. And then I literally told B at the time, I remember saying, hey, and he's the one that convinced me, because I was like, I can't do this. He's like, you can do this. I'm like, I can't do it. And then my ex-husband, now ex-husband, he found out I bought a $6,000 business the day the boxes showed up. So about 2 weeks after I joined the business, like that's when like I had done it. He's like, you're so impulsive. People think I'm very impulsive. I've been researching that shit for 2 months. Like, had it all figured out, They need time to process. They're the ones, like for me, I was very lucky with like comp plan. I like change. I'm a weird green like that. Most greens don't like change, or they just need to have time. They really need that process time. So if you come to them with a new system and they don't seem excited, it's not that they're not excited. It's that they need to read it, digest it, analyze it, figure out if this really is going to be a good thing, and then they'll buy in. Like it usually very much is. And a lot of people find that they're very resistant, like they're trying to resist. It's not you. So you're going to get that. A lot of people who aren't greens are really hard for them, because they're like, but I promise they're not fighting you. They're fighting themselves. They're fighting the world. It's not you, it's them. And I mean that, and I can say that with every fiber of my being. All right. So they need respect and being around other intellect, autonomy, values, independence, facts and data, sarcasm, dry humor. Never thought that, right? Me, Monica being green, like never, like, sir, I didn't write this. This is the textbook shit. All right. Intelligence, they value that. Joys are thinking. Their joys are actually thinking. Yes, I would just sit here and think of things and come up with crap all day long. It's only now that I can now take this brain and put it on paper. It's getting better. It's getting better. It only took 37 years. Analyzing sarcasm is one of their joys. Having the answers. They love to have the answers. All right. They're innovative and logical. One of my favorite, when we really talk the 5 essential skills of leadership, innovation and problem solving is one. I know I already mentioned problem solving. I'm usually the one people come to when they're like, okay, we have a problem, or how can we do this better? That's one of more of my strengths, where if you're like, how are we going to get there tomorrow? I'm like, I don't know. You better just fucking call and tell them we ain't going to get there, because I don't know. I got to think about this. Like, I don't know. We ain't getting there tomorrow. They're like, no, Mom, we got to be there tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I'm going to tell you why you can. They're going to, the orange is already there. They're like, screw it, I'm gone. And I'm like, all right, wait a minute. Let me see how they did that. Let me overthink it. So they need to feel confident, seek to understand the world. And that's what it's about. It's not about trying to say you're wrong. They need to figure it out kind of for themselves. They're very curious. All right. They question authority. That's a good one. Value concise communication. Communication is huge with a green. Communicating very clearly. You can't beat around the bush with a green. They're not gonna respect you. If you beat around the bush, you're like, yeah, so like, yeah, no, just be like, hey girl, this person's struggling, or we need to step it up here, or you're struggling, how can I help you? Like, just be real matter of fact with them. Be really real with them, kind but real. They don't want the mushiness. They don't want the the beating around the bush. That's the best way to put it. Slow to make decisions. Believe work is play, which is true. I have a really hard time having fun. People, like, the only place I have found that I can go on vacation and actually not work is Disney, because it's so busy. It doesn't, like, I can still work there. I can work anywhere because I'm like that, but I have a really hard time shutting down, because it is truly one of my favorite things. If I didn't have children or a husband, I would work 18 hours a day with bells on. I would be one of those people that, like, the 4 hours of sleep, I'd have a dog and my cats, and like, I could be that person. I chose to have a family because I had to, it was either me alone because there was nobody else, or so I chose to have both. Some days I'm like, huh? They focus on the future. So I'm always looking, you're always looking out there. So why do you need a green? You need a green because they're your thinkers, right? They're going to help you get through the problems. Where oranges are going to drive getting to where the greens are going to figure out how to do it. And when they figure it out, then they're going to tell the team, and the oranges are going to get there first. All right. They're going to help you push. So the greens are going to come up with the plan. They're going to build, you know, kind of the structure. They're going to build that map for you. You know how we talked about, like, you have to have like the map and well, the map, greens are very good at the map. They're very good at getting to where, like, out of that comfort zone. Okay. They can kind of see it. They're visionary like that. You need them for that reason. How do you attract a green? Numbers. So when you're pitching, that's where you pitch. I'm on a $55 million team. I have, you know, I've signed 10 people. The kid is only $79. It's a $250 value. We're number 17. You know, then my upline is number 4, whatever she is this month. And then hers is number 1. Like, they love stats. They love that we're in the top percent. They give them all the data. They want the facts. They don't want I'm going to go to the party tomorrow. And oh my God, my friends, and we're going to get dresses. And we're going to go walk on stage at conference. No. They don't want to be that's another thing too with greens. They don't usually get the recognition, and they don't need it. They're like the quiet ones in the background. You're like, Mom, but you're not quiet. But when it comes to most of the things that come out that I actually create, a lot of times I don't take any credit for it. They're those people, and they don't want it. They're very happy watching others shine. I would do that all day long. Like, if they were like, Mom, you don't have to go on stage, you can pick somebody else, I would have picked somebody else. Like, all day, every day. Like, don't like it. Like, that's but you need the greens because they're your business. A lot of times they're your business people. They're going to help you get there in a smarter way. The oranges will get there first, but they're going to help you long-term work smarter, not harder. All right. A lot of times an orange will work harder because they just keep sprinting. And a lot of times they don't think before, they're impulsive. So they'll kind of like do the things, but then they probably could have done twice as much if they had thought about it like the greens were, but the greens aren't going to work that fast. So it's really how you look at it. You need them all. With that, we'll go to our golds. Now, golds are the reason we're also here. Like, they're all that important. I really do feel that way. So what is a gold? A gold is, those are your organizers. Okay. They love organization, planning. They're the reliability. They will very much not take two. If you say like, oh, we're going to have a meeting at 10 next week, and then you forget, like, if you have to cancel because there's a legitimate thing, something happens, fine. But like, they want their reliability. They want to know you're going to show up when you say you're going to show up. Okay. Blues are like that too, though, because they take it personally if you don't. So that's a good example of that. They value structure and loyalty. All right. Honesty. They need the structure and planning. They're your planners. They're the ones that are making those systems. So the thing I made yesterday is a very gold thing. All right. It is a very, they love checklists. They love them. Like, I made that for golds, like, they love trackers, checklists, planners, any kind of, any of that stuff. Like, that is their love language. All right. Their gradual introduction to change. They need that. They need gradual. They very much can't, because they're planners. If you say tomorrow that the comp plan is changing, I just use that as a good example because it's something big that we went through all together, right? They're going to be okay with it, but they need it gradual. They need, they chunk it. Or orange is like, okay, what am I going to get paid? I'm going to go. Oh, I got a new incentive. I can get a new bonus. They have it planned. They were waiting for that. Like, I got that bonus, I'm going to get that. Golds are like, but wait, why? They're not so much why. Green are the whys, but the golds, they do need that. They're control freaks, really. And I was a green gold for the first 5 years I was in this business, but a lot of leaders are gold. A lot, or gold is their, like, gold is a very, I'm finding more and more in our company, we're getting a lot of green blues and a lot of not that it might be blue green or a lot of blue orange. I am here. But golds, they need like the control thing, and that's what it's about. They need the control, where greens are very analytical and they want to know why, and they don't like authority. They don't actually need control. They just need to understand why the things are the way they are. Golds get the anxiety if they don't have that. If they don't have kind of the grasp on things, they love charting. Okay, like I always could tell a gold before. Like they were the ones that had their maps. They'd have systems. They'd have it like, there's the way I'm going to do, like, oh God, sample track. They're the ones that have created all your sample, any of these tracker things. Like I create them now, but like those are not like that. Just, they love them. They love them. And I just think of the people that I have that are golds, and they're phenomenal. Charlotte, Gretchen is like my queen gold. So just to give you an example, like she's very good at taking Monica's golds are good at taking Green's brains and putting it on paper. So before I was able to do it, they would do it. Yeah, Angela is a gold. I'm gonna say, I know if you're like, there's some golds out there and they're very like, they need it. They need structure. They love task accomplishment. So if you give them steps, action steps all day long, they're going to want them all so that they can plan them out, but you're going to still stick to that 1 to 3, because a lot of times after you do the first 1 to 3 action steps to anything, either you've already gotten there or they figure it out on their own, or B, there might be something they're going to see and there's going to be needing to be a pivot anyways. Like if you do A and B, mattering what happens with B, it matters the track you're going to go on with the next thing. And that's why I often say don't give it all, because a lot of times there might have been a better solution if you chunked it down. Great for learning and teaching, right? And it's overwhelming. Like if you gave an orange 16 steps, they're going to take the first one and that's it. Like you lost them after that. Greens wrote down all 16 and they're going to tell you why you only needed 14. Well, they won't, because they'll know they sound condescending, but they checklists, all of that. So golds, you need them. They're great at organization. They're great at making systems. They're great at planning things, events. They're great at putting things together, planning, the future planning. Just, they're really great at, if you have a vision, all right, my greens, and I feel like oranges, even though they're the polar opposites, they're both probably the best visionaries. All right, naturally, that's my opinion now, just knowing them. But the golds will help you with that. Like the greens can analyze it, but the golds can actually put it on paper and help you get there. They can break down the steps and help everybody get there. The oranges will just run. The golds are the ones that make the things so that green can get out of their own way and start they'll take that and go. Blues love it. A lot of gold blues out there. That's a really great dual color. I find gold blues are usually phenomenal. Downside to golds is they do the control. The control thing is hard, especially when you're doing a business like this. They're the ones that are usually going to be I find they have the hard time with like the team. Like, I don't understand why they don't want to do it. I don't, like they're the ones that are just like, they don't get that. Like, they're like, well, wouldn't you want it this way? And then oranges are also like that. They're like, don't you want the prize? People are like, no. So how do you pitch to gold? Or also gold's love language, huge. See them, like my golds who I know are whatever. Usually those are the ones that I pull up and I give them recognition, a lot of recognition. Like I help them. I'll be like, even if I know I can do something by myself, I'll reach out to a goal and ask them to do it, like ask them to do it with me, because they love being part of that like piece. They love that recognition for their skills. They love to be seen for what they're good in and whatnot. They really, really, really love that. And it's a great thing. It's a great way to, and it's not like, oh, let's go hang out and be besties. No, it's like, hey, you know what? I saw asking them to do a training for you. It's like the best thing you can do for a gold. They want to train. They love that stuff. So golds are really big with that. So pitching to golds, that's one of the things. They like knowing systems are in place. So pitching that we have an app and we have all the trainings, that we have a website, that we have any of that stuff. They love the systems. They love knowing things are in place. We can help you with the steps. They like to know. I mean, I think actually speaking of Gretchen, like one of her big things was when I literally did a post like holding the bag, and it was like, it's a business in a bag. And she was like, I'm sold. Like, I can run a business that fits in a bag. Like, just seeing that. And they need to see if they can see it visually. That's a really great. They also like numbers, and things like that. I'm trying to think anymore with gold, for pitching. They're probably the biggest. I feel like the golds are the most balanced of them all, if that makes any sense. I feel like golds are very much more, they have that control thing, but they're very balanced, more level headed, where like oranges are just like, phew. And almost sometimes oranges, where as an orange leader, people can sometimes think oranges and golds are both, not golds, I apologize, orange and green are colds for different reasons. Oranges, they seem like if they're not interested, if they don't have a secondary color as blue, which a lot of oranges do. They don't, though. A lot of times what will happen is people will think they are like almost too good for like somebody else, or that because they're so quick, a blue can take that very offensively. Like they're just like, does that make sense? Like they kind of just go too fast and people just kind of take them wrong, even though they're not, that's just who they are. There's not that they're unkind. It's usually the very opposite. That's the way that they're programmed. Greens, because they can be very quiet, and a lot of times they'll just sit back when people, like if somebody's teaching something, they just, because they're digesting it, people are like, they're sarcastic, that can be taken wrong. All of that kind of stuff. Yeah, see, I didn't even read this. I just pulled up another one of my graphics. For golds, they're dutiful and stable. Like they really are. They're like that, like they're your balance. You need that. Like they keep cool, calm, and collected for you. They don't get too emotional. They're not going too fast, which gives people anxiety. They're not overthinking it. They're just like, they're like a breath of fresh air, honestly, in a lot of ways. They're like, you need them all, because that's that balance. They want to be self-sufficient. They want to be recognized for what they are good in, and seeing that. They value rules. They're very goal orientated. So how do you also get them motivated? Not even it's not the prizes for them, but it's putting a goal out there with them, like having them set goals and then having a plan on how you're going to do it. That is everything. Or like a blue, you got to plan and like you're going to do it along with them. Golds just need the goal, and then continuing to check in with them a lot of times is enough, because they are once they have a real goal, a goal that inspires them and sets them on fire, they are they're incredible. They're literally little superheroes. They measure their worth by completion, though. That's the thing. So if they have a goal and then they don't reach that goal, or they don't reach the goal in that set amount of time they gave themselves, because they planned it out clearly, right? They like to plan, they're control freaks. That can very much be harmful to them. And I mean, how often do you set goals and they might not happen, or they might not get where you want to be in that time. So they can get very in their own, that can be, you have to watch that. Like, that's one of those things I find. And I'm also very much into all this psychology and all this stuff. So you're like, Mom, I ain't going to do all that. That's fine. But I'm telling you all this because if I had known this 7 years ago, I'd be in a lot different place today. They prepare for the future, enjoy positions of authority. So they love being leaders. They love being like structure, stability in society, safeguard tradition. Yeah, they're very traditional, usually believe work comes before play. So greens think that work is play. Golds believe that work comes before play. Oranges just want to play, and blue just wants everybody to play together. Does that make sense? Like, that's it in a nutshell. They just want to do it together. They don't care what we do. We can work or play. What's going to make everybody happy the most? That's a blue. Oranges are like, I'm playing. Let's go. They ain't working. I ain't got time for that. Greens are like, I'm not going to play. I'm going to sit here and analyze and do my thing and figure out how I can make everything better. And golds are like, I'll help you plan that. And they're like, let's get that done first, and then I'm going to go play with you. So that's your little thing in a nutshell. So they are all important. You want to pitch to all of them. So and I know many of you have watched it, but just a reminder, because it's really great for your team as you start understanding these more. pitch to these colors, all 4 colors every month. All right. Even if you're doing 3 soft pitches or whatever, you know, you got to leave the numbers for the harder pitch fine. I believe you should be doing harder pitches more often now, especially because you have your stories. You can put hard pitches in stories. You should have a hard pitch in your story once a week, at least. Okay. I used to do it for the people who don't want to grow a team, you know, are kind of just getting into it. It's that, you know, soft, 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 hard. That's always going to be the way. You consensively, you guys are growing. You're my runners, right? You need to do those things more. Blues are going to be your blessing post, relationship post, but really making sure you're helping. So if you see a teammate who is pitching, wants to grow, and you see them literally every pitch is the same love language, reach out to them and say, hey, I learned this thing. Like, and you can use their trainings are out there. They're on the YouTube channel or whatever on the different pitches, and that can help too. And I'm going to upload this for whoever wants to watch it. But I think that's really big is sometimes look at that, because people will be like, I don't know why no one's joining me. And I'll look and they're literally just pitching the same thing over and over. It's the same thing. It's always numbers. And it's like, you're not hitting a large enough audience. Okay. And a lot of times you can put 2 colors easily into a pitch. You can talk about the relationships and being on the trip and, you know, winning the trip, or, oh, I got, you know, recognized for this. And I got to go on stage, you know, like I got top in this. So like oranges are like, oh, you won. And then you're like, and then I got recognized for, I got to go on stage, or I got, you know, recognized with this thing, you know, that's a gold. Now you're giving the recognition. Oranges, they got their prize and their trophy and they're super happy. Any questions? I just knew that it's a lot. So I didn't want to, like, we could be here. I could talk about this for hours, like days, hours, weeks. I'm agreeing, like we could go into it, like we could spend an hour on every color and I could still go. It would be good. It'd be good. Your golds are your most loyal. Golds and blues, I feel like they're both extremely like loyal. Not that greens aren't or oranges aren't. They just usually are thinking too much, doing something else, or being first, getting to where they want to go because they got things to do. No questions? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You guys like, I'm so fucking overwhelmed. I don't even know. I'm going to go just take my friggin' brown self and go hide in my room right now. I'm on. No, just me. Okay. You guys have any other questions? I know that color related. And then if not, I'm going to stop recording because I know Melanie, we're going to go over some stuff real quick on colors. Okay, let me stop this recording.